Okay, sorry, got cut off. There was dogs barking. So, yeah, basically, I know everybody's gonna be like, oh, that's not true, blah, 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 all this stuff. Well, you know what? Scientists have admitted it, that we have the same genetic, like, imprints as a fruit fly. And there's animals with more genetic coding than you have. Do you understand that that means that somebody's been tampering? And when they looked at the genetic codes, they realized that it was parasitic DNA copying itself over and over again. And that's part of this whole system. It's locked in your DNA. You're locked. That's what makes you a slave, and you cannot see, you cannot access your memories from before of all of this genetic programming that's been going on. They keep you in this same system. They're reincarnating you with cloning and all of this stuff, and you don't want to believe it. But if you look, I'm telling you, this is not like some science fiction story. It is actually, unfortunately, real. Unless we're dead right now and this is all just a stupid movie or a game, but it doesn't seem like a game to me. Like, this stuff all seems very real. So, okay, the DNA genomes that they uncoded, they found out, oh, there's this parasitic DNA that keeps blocking ourselves from evolving. Animals, they can evolve and develop supernatural instincts. They can stop themselves from going extinct. But some reason humans cannot do that. We continually to have this loop in our DNA, and we become extinct from it. And this is probably why we don't want to believe any of this, because we have not really developed. We've been living in this, oh, you have to work for a little money, you work, you go to home, you have a little bit of entertainment, brainwashed by their media, the archetype system that they've programmed. Wake up, go to work, come back, go to sleep, wake up, go to work, come back, go to sleep. Wake up, people. That is the system that you're living under, is a continuous slavery system. Now, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to, like, some of you are desperately like, what's going on? Life seems strange. Everything is weird. I'm trying to help you out here, to give you some information and prepare you for what's going to happen in the future, because we're going to come in contact with them again. That's the whole point. Nibiru is coming back. Why is there all this hype and everybody's talking about it? Why is the military talking about it? Why are they saying Project Bluebeam? All of these military projects, they want to fake alien invasions and all this kind of stuff, because they want to confuse people, to divide us, and to not help us realize that there are people who are going to try to come and help us, but there's also people who are going to try to hurt us, because we've been stuck here and we've been basically slaves. And there's going to be a fight over it, because some people want to get us out of here and some people want us to stay. That's just kind of how time works. Like, if there's groups who escape but then they need to come back because certain things went wrong, so they have to come back and re-loop it over again, or they have to change the initial starting point from where things were developing for their own timeline. And this is like quantum time, and all this stuff is a little bit more complicated for us to get into, especially since, like, none of us really understand how it works. Even quantum physics scientists don't understand. So we will leave that out of it, but in my opinion, it's based on algorithms, and they're just running it off some sort of holographic system, like quantization binary codes, and they're just trying to keep the line system, like people are able to access that, and then they can basically put you in their grid and then keep you there, and you don't know how to get out of it, and you're stuck on this planet, so you don't know how to get out of it. But there is probably ways to get out of this, but unfortunately we have to go through a cycle or certain progression steps in order to reach that level where we're ready to leave, because maybe some information we're not ready to prepare ourselves to be able to make those jumps to get out of here. because I don't want to be stuck here. I'm sorry. Some of you people are nice and everything, but there's a lot of crappy people on this planet that I don't want to live with either. So, yeah. If we look back in history books, and let's just, okay, if you want to dissect and call me crazy, okay, let's just say you're religious, or we're going to study where man started, which all scientists even agree it started with one man and one woman. So this Adam and Eve, ask yourselves, how did Adam and Eve have kids? And then where did the kids have kids? Because if you have your kids, your brother and sister have kids together, what happens? They have Proteus syndrome, like I tried to say earlier. It's using Proteus syndrome. So Adam and Eve have these kids, and then these kids, then how do they have kids without going extinct? And people don't think there's something wrong with this picture? I mean, scientists, ask yourself, really, study the data. Where did they have kids? Who did they breed with in order to get out of the system? You get Proteus syndrome, you get an incest disorder, autosomal inheritance disorder. You collect a genetic defect in gene mutations from that interaction. That's why they say don't do that. That's the kind of other funny thing about the religious books, is they tell us not to do it, but we're all doing it. And people don't even realize it. Arranged marriages and everything, it's continuing all of the time. And people say, oh, like, we don't know how that happened, and I'm a religious person, and that's not really what's going on. Well, study the science and ask yourself the logical question: how did Adam and Eve's kids have kids? How did they do it without going extinct? And we live thousands of years later. How did it happen? I mean, seriously, people, that's why what I'm saying to you is not crazy. You have to pick up a science book and start to study and ask yourself, why is this not really making any sense? And the scientists, you guys don't believe in God and everything. Well, pick up a religious book and then prove that God doesn't exist, because there's something wrong. And it's not the religious books, it's that there's been editing. And I'm not saying that like, I'm a religious person, and I'm not saying that the religious books are lying to you. I'm saying that there's information left out. Like, where did the Goliath come from? Where did they come from? Fallen angels? Okay, they have... With men, how does that happen? Who knows about these details? But somehow it happened because there's big skeletons all over the world. Not just one... And they're not just one size. There's many different sizes of them. There's skulls long, and some of them said, oh, that was because they were tying the head with boards to keep the skull to grow a certain way, because they thought it was attractive, like Nefertiti. And they all wear this like cone covering cap. Like in the Vatican, you got the big dragon or the fish head. Stupid little hat going on there. And some people say they're the cone heads. Like, remember the movie The Coneheads? Like these kind of things, these skeletons that they found. Now people can say, oh, they made it or whatever, blah blah blah. I mean, seriously, well, if they made it, who made these statues, and who made the pyramids and Baalbek and all these other, like, these obelisks and stuff? They're made with one single rock that nobody can lift with any machinery that we have now. None of the machines that we have now can lift that sort of contraption. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? This is not like just, oh, this is like, oh, there's aliens and all this crap. No, it was people who became advanced human beings with genetics, and then they came back and enslaved people, and they were like basically devil worshippers, and they are trying to put the biggest spell of all, to create themselves as gods and to control you as slaves. And you worship the gods, and everything you do in your life is worshiping the gods. And that's what we don't want to accept because it's just too much to take. So if you don't want to accept it, you can call me crazy. But that doesn't mean that you're an ignorant fool. Like, if you can't pick up a science book and understand it, does that mean a scientist is stupid? Or does it mean you're stupid? Or ignorant? Or not able to comprehend what is in the science book? Do you understand what kind of... I'm trying to speak logically to you so that you kind of understand that just because you think it's fantasy and out there and it's just like it's in the movies and all this crap, who do you think makes all that science fiction, all that crap? The very people who control you, who enslaved you. I mean, sometimes I don't know, the ignorance of people, it's just like, really, like, if someone told me all of this, I would stop and I would say, I'm gonna look at the evidence that he's talking about before I call him crazy completely. Because actually there's not a lot of people willing to say what I'm telling you right now. Because if I went out into the street and started saying, hey, you're a slave of some gods that use genetics to become super like giants and all this stuff, and they have super advanced technology, they have the Hindu word like Vimana, and all of these crafts and all this sightings that you see, advanced technology and all of this stuff, it came from them, it's used by them, everything is controlled by them to control you. And they use certain individuals of us, people in the MK program, super soldier programs, Ubermensch, Operation Paperclip with the Nazis, mind control, all of this stuff they use to control you. And most of us are not even aware. Like, I'm a smart person and I didn't believe I was under a program, but now I know. I'm in the program. I'm in the Delta program. And people will be pissed off at me. The people swear at me in public and they say, oh, I did this and this, and they're pissed off at me. But it's not me. It is a Delta, like either a clone or some hologram, or it's a twin. It's one of these sort of systems that they have going on. There's a lot of groups. There's the Cthulhu like cult, and then they've got these other feline diabetes kind of like people, they're joking, the furries and all this stuff, but there's really a lot of sick stuff going on, and you guys just don't want to accept it because you think that you don't have to accept it and it's not going to affect you. But actually it affects you because they've killed you before. It's the Hunger Games. This planet is the Hunger Games. Like Gladiator Dome in Roman era, the Colosseum, like people killing each other for people's entertainment. Well, like, yeah, that's us. That's us killing each other in war for their entertainment. And they get off on this stuff. Like, really, these people are evil, seriously. Like this is not a joke. They are really, they believe they're gods. But it's okay, you can just say I'm crazy and blah blah blah, but if you really open your eyes and you look at the Freemasons and everybody holding up the Eye of Horus, which actually is an insult about the real story of what was happening according to a lot of people that are inside of this top circle, is that they cut out his eye and then they cut him into pieces. Horus was not a bad guy, he was trying to help you. He was trying to warn you. And now you got a bunch of people going around, oh, it's so funny, and they use the eye and they're trying to make fun of Horus and everything. Well, you know what, people? You're all slaves and you're all gonna be Nephilim food. They're gonna eat you. I'm sorry to say, this whole Bible rapture thing is all bogus. It's all gonna be like a savior gonna come and all this stuff, and then they're gonna brainwash you and they're gonna put you on some slave ship, and then they're gonna cook you up and eat you. I'm sorry to say, but that's what these people do. You can deny all you want. It's right there in the history books.